Okay, let's get into this. We talk all the time about, the perfect sensor or the sharpest lens, but what happens on location when the power you're plugging into is, let's say, less than perfect?
Right, that dirty power, that inconsistent voltage can absolutely fry sensitive gear.
Which is why today's deep dive is into a solution for that, a very specific piece of hardware, the Datavideo DDC-4012H inline DC-DC converter.
It's really the unsung hero in the power chain. Our mission here is to figure out what this little box tells us about bridging that gap. The gap between high voltage distribution power and the very specific low voltage needs of a camera.
It's basically a translator for electricity.
A very smart one. It takes the chaos of field power and turns it into clean, stable, battery level power.
So let's start with that chaos. The DDC-4012H accepts a huge input voltage range, from 15 volts all the way up to 50 volts DC.
And that range is key.
Why is that so important for a professional user?
Well, think about a big set. You might be running really long cables, which causes voltage drop, or you're plugged into a high voltage distribution block. This unit just doesn't care. It takes whatever you give it.
And it does it efficiently, right? The spec says up to 85% efficiency.
Exactly. So not much power is wasted as heat, which is great for a small inline device.
Okay, so that's the input. But the real magic for your expensive camera is on the output side.
That's the whole point. You feed it that wild voltage, but it gives your gear a very specific regulated voltage.
Either 7.2V, 8.4V, or 12V DC, depending on a switch.
And the really critical part is the tolerance. It's plus or minus 3%.
That's incredibly tight.
It is, and that's what protects the internal components of your gear. It handles the stress externally so your camera doesn't have to.
And it has the power to back it up too. 48 watts or 4 amps.
Mm.
That's enough to run a monitor or a wireless transmitter, no problem.
Oh, easily. You could probably run both simultaneously.
Let's talk about connectivity. This isn't some cheap plastic connector. It's using 4-pin XLRs.
Mm-hmm. Proper professional connections. And you get options for the output.
Right, another 4-pin XLR or a standard 5.5mm barrel connector that covers almost any accessory out there.
And what I really like is the built-in feedback. You don't want to accidentally send 12 volts into a camera that wants 7.2.
A very expensive mistake.
A very expensive and very quick mistake. But this has an LED light system. It's red for 12V, green for 7.2V, and orange for 8.4V. So you get instant visual confirmation. No guesswork.
I do have to ask about a limitation I saw, though. The source is very clear. This is not water or weatherproof. It's for indoor use. For such a robust piece of electronics, why the strict limitation?
Well, it's usually a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
To manage 48 watts of power in such a small, lightweight package, it's probably using passive cooling. Sealing it completely for weather would trap heat.
I see. So the trade-off is you get this light 0.3 kilogram device that's easy to rig, but you have to keep it dry and within a reasonable temperature range.
Exactly. It's designed for studio work or controlled indoor field use.
Okay, let's pivot to the final critical feature, protection.
Ah, yes. The overload protection. It kicks in if the load is too high.
But the key thing here seems to be the recovery. It says it recovers automatically after the fault condition is removed.
And that's the game changer. That's huge.
What does that mean in practice?
It means if you have a temporary short or a power spike from an accessory, you don't have to go and manually reset anything. The unit just protects itself. And as soon as the problem is gone, it comes right back online. No downtime.
So to sum it all up for you, the listener, this device isn't just stepping down voltage. It's really an insurance policy. It takes unpredictable power, filters it, regulates it with extreme precision, and it even heals itself after a fault.
It's all about reducing risk and maximizing uptime on set, which brings up an interesting thought for you to consider. Given that automated recovery feature, that self-resetting capacity, what kinds of fast-paced production scenarios would benefit the most from that? Think about things like hot swapping gear or a zoom lens motor that causes a momentary power spike. When is a self-healing system better than one that forces you to stop and manually intervene?